How do you move forward from that hole of self-sabotage? I experienced a week being stuck in that hole, and it was difficult because it's an accumulation of different things that triggered me that week. It's really hard to explain this, you guys, and it takes a lot of courage, but whew, you know, I'm doing this for you, bravehearts, for anyone who might need to hear this or might need this as their guide. Thank you. Also, if you're here sticking with me all through the end, thank you. Oh, how do I begin? When you're triggered, do you fly and fight as a response? Or do you actually acknowledge it, sit with it, and just really get to know it and trace where it's coming from? It was hard for me to do the latter, and that is what I always advocate for. You guys know that if you've been watching my videos. That week was just so difficult for me to shift to that. I had no time to process everything. It was just all these pent-up emotions. Imagine you have a jar and you put so many rocks in it, and those rocks represent your emotions. What happens when you put so much rock in that jar? It fills up, it gets overwhelming, right? That's the analogy behind of what happened. I couldn't process, I couldn't release it. As an adult, I have to schedule my breakdowns. I have to schedule the times that I am able to process it. That weekend was so eventful, and I don't want to share the details, but I just want to share how to overcome it and the realities of it. You see, yes, I advocate self-love. I advocate a lot of the positivity that I put online. I put it out there so that someone else might, you know, use these as their guides or might have an impact to them. But I am human too. I experience things as well. I experience emotions as well. I experience lows, and I get sad also. Sometimes reminders, little reminders could also help me. I don't need external validation, yes, from outside sources. I can get that myself, but you know what I mean. It's different when you hear it from someone who, yeah. This journey, it gets really lonely. I hate to admit that. I try to go back to my why, to my core, but sometimes it's just really difficult. It was that week that I could not bear with it easily. Process your triggers, and if it's too heavy for you to process it or for you to take it in and sit with it, at least take it day by day. Pace yourself. Acknowledge the emotion. I feel sad. I feel frustrated for feeling guilty of being an introvert in a social situation, being misinterpreted or misunderstood just because I am quiet, and it takes a bit of time for me to warm up, for me to start opening up. And I don't usually feel guilty, but that week I felt that guilt that I felt before, and it was so frustrating for me because, like, where the hell is this coming from? I thought I got over this wound, and it resurfaces. So it's like double the emotion I felt. This guilt and this frustration that it's back. Like, what the hell? I had to remind myself, you see. It was at that moment that I realized we will always be learning, healing, and growing and developing along the way as long as we're alive. In short, we're ever evolving, and that applies to healing as well. You know, it's a deep wound when it resurfaces. It hits that deep. Once you acknowledge it and once you've traced it where it's coming from. Label it. Okay, this wound was from the past. How sure are you that this is what they think of you? How sure are you, or where is that proof that says you are this, or it was just a feeling? And once you've answered those questions, once you've labeled them, recode. Challenge yourself to recode. Realize right then and there that, nobody said it. That came from me, from a place of fear of rejection and being judged and being isolated for being who I am. And that is coming from my childhood, experiencing being invalidated and being bullied. Recode and shift your mindset from there. It's easier said than done. It's so difficult. It took me days to recode and shift, and it wasn't even full recovery. There are still bits of pieces around there that would, you know, trigger a bit, just a bit, but that I'm able to refocus and shift. That's it, really. Simple formula, simple steps, but so freaking hard to apply. Not just getting out of the hole of self-sabotage hole, but that applies to every trigger that you experience or encounter. I hope this helps you, Bravehearts. Know that you are not alone in your journey of being and becoming and ever evolving. We all are ever evolving. We need to acknowledge that at some point. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of this content, and follow me on all of my social media pages. You'll see on the description box below. Thank you, Bravehearts. Sending love and light.